nations into Europe. These new nations see things very much the American way in terms of their approach. Other European nations who are willing to go against a larger number of their colleague European nations. President Bush is confident that Europe will answer the call. It remains possible that France won't be on the line, but the President will continue to respect the nations that may or may not disagree with the United States' position on this at the end, and he will work productively with each of these nations no matter what position they ultimately take. But there's no question the President is confident that Europe and much of the rest of the world will answer the call if the call is made. Perfect. Kazakhstan did it. It was done in South Africa. It was done in the Ukraine. Saddam Hussein is doing the opposite of what the nations that showed that they were disarming. It's fair to say that when you want to sum up where Europe is on this question, there are divisions in Europe. Europe doesn't have one opinion or one thought. Europe is divided, with most of the governments of Europe in support of America. There are a few who are not. There are a few who are not yet decided about what position they will take. But when you take a look at England, when you take a look at the recent statements by the President of Italy that while they would prefer to go through the United Nations, they will support the United States. When you take a look at all the nations of Eastern Europe, who have their own recent history with how to deal with oppression and totalitarianism, there's a tremendous base of support. Sure. As to border security, those type of issues. The President would like to thank the people and the government of Australia for their efforts in working to achieve peace through the military force that Australia has dispatched to Iraq. The President continues to hope that this matter can be resolved peacefully, but thanks to the efforts of nations like Australia, the signal that is being sent that the world is serious helps enhance the chances for peace. And with that, I'm happy to take your questions. John?
In that phone call, weapons-related documents, but in fact sparse relative. Among those omissions are large quantities of anthrax and other deadly biological agents and nuclear-related items that the UN Special Commission concluded Iraq had not accounted for. There are also gaps in accounting for such deadly items as 1.5 tons of the nerve gas VX, 550 mustard-filled artillery shells, and 400 biological weapons-capable aerial bombs that the UN Special Commission concluded in 1999, and this is the UN's conclusion, Iraq had failed to account for. With evidence of VX in soil samples, the Iraqis then admitted they'd manufactured, but claimed a quantity of no more. There is no explanation of the connection between Iraq's extensive unmanned aerial vehicle program and chemical or biological agent dispersal. There is no information about Iraq's mobile biological weapons production facilities. And very disturbingly, Iraq has not accounted for some 2 tons of anthrax growth media to create the appearance of candor and to overwhelm the UN inspector. Already we have multiple reports and other evidence of intensified efforts to hide documents in places where they are unlikely to be found, such as private homes of low-level officials and universities. We have reports and other evidence of prohibited material and documents being relocated to agricultural areas and private homes or hidden beneath mosques and hospitals. Furthermore, according to these reports, the material is moved constantly, making it difficult to trace or find without absolutely fresh intelligence. It was buried within a massive... Today we know from multiple sources that Saddam has ordered that any scientist who cooperates during interviews will be killed, as well as their families. Furthermore, we know that scientists are being tutored on what to say to the UN inspectors, and that Iraqi intelligence officers are posing as scientists to be interviewed by the inspectors. It cannot be a process of cooperative disarmament. The purpose of Resolution 1441, I repeat, was not to play a deadly game of hide and seek or cheat and retreat for another.